Got some nice icicles. Smoke coming out. I gotta get some firewood actually. Alright, this is probably the last big storm of the season. Everything melted. Oh, not everything, but like a lot of the snow melted the last like week. It's the first week of March. And it's been kind of a warm season. We haven't had that many big snowstorms, but about 3 weeks ago we had a nice big storm, and I tried filming a video that was all about the storm and shoveling and clearing out the cabin and keeping it warm. But I had just gotten a new phone and the sound was all messed up. So I'm recording this on the old phone. But yeah, we got nice sticky snow. Usually in the spring, the first snow of the year is usually kind of sticky, but then all the snow we get in March and April is really heavy and sticky, and it ruins all my gray birch trees. So I just went down the trail and knocked all the trees loose. That way they don't all break tonight. It's gonna get cold for another day and a half, and nothing's gonna really melt probably off of the trees the next 2 days, but then on the third day it's gonna get warm again. But yeah, winters are pretty boring for me up here. Play video games at night, and during the day I just shovel and take care of all the chores and stuff like that, and collect water for the day, everything like that. And then by the time I'm done doing that, it's like noon. Then I go online and try to make some money or work on whatever I'm doing for money. And then I play video games at night online or watch YouTube. Don't really do much at night here. Every once in a while I'll go down to southern Maine and visit the family with one of my buddies. I have a couple buddies up here who drive down there and go see the family and stuff. But for the most part, I'm just out here chilling out, keeping the cabin warm. Winters are not exciting, but this is going to be a pretty big year for the gardens. I'm going to open up a couple new garden patches, and all the berries we planted last year should be going pretty good, and we should even have a couple rows of Hasscaps that are ready and coming up. And then I added 3 more big rows of strawberries last year, so those should be good, and I should have 6 or 7 rows of those. And then we're going to try to cultivate 3 or 4 more rows, 25-foot rows for strawberries, because those are the best. Those are the ones I like the best, at least out of everything. But we got about 40 blueberry plants that should be doing pretty good and should have some berries on them, but next year they should have a lot. And a couple of the apple trees are probably going to start producing the new apple trees. We got a couple that are 4 or 5 years old, and they might have something on them this year. And by next year, the plum trees will be going. But I haven't done any firewood. I usually cut half of the firewood in fall, and my knee was messed up, so I didn't do it. And my knee's still pretty messed up, but it's good enough I can start doing it. So hopefully when this snow evens out, maybe it melts this week, I got to try to pull 3 cords of firewood out of the woods. Get that done for the season. It's probably going to take me most of the month of March, so that's what I'll be doing this month, is cutting the wood and bringing it over here. And I'm going to try to split it as I cut it this year, instead of just cutting it all and dragging it over here and splitting it. Since I'm going to drag it in the cart, not on the sled. So, I pretty much have all the time I need. I'm going to try to get it done this month, but I'm going to cut a tree down, bring it over, split it up, and then pile it, and then cut another tree down. That way I don't have all kinds of logs laying around and all kinds of stuff stacked up in all kinds of ways. Plus, I always get like mildew and stuff on those logs from sitting them out in the rain too long. So I want to get it cut down and then put right under the tarp, so I can, because that smell, it's not that big of a deal, but if your firewood gets mildewy, you get it in the cabin, it smells like that. Plus, if your cabin got high humidity or something, that mold could spread in your cabin. So it's better just to not have it in there. So, the year before last, the wood I let get really wet during that spring season while it was waiting to get chopped up, and it kind of messed it up a little bit. So I'm going to try to avoid that. And we have a couple more building projects. Hopefully we're going to do a small building out back for my family to come and camp in. And I have another stove. I want to incorporate the pizza oven I have already into a bigger stove build, so I can have an outdoor grill thing that's like permanent, made out of brick. So I got a couple things I got to do that I'll probably bring you guys around for. But I just finished shoveling the whole driveway. Looks nice. Pretty nice. I just cleared off the solar panels, but the snow's so sticky, it's just coated it again. There's no sun right now anyway, so I'll come and scrape those tomorrow morning. It's nice. Those, very rarely do I have clean icicles on the side of the cabin, but since all of this is fresh, you know, it rained the other day and all the snow came off of the cabin. So you usually have really gross brown icicles because the stove will drip down onto the roof there. But they're all nice and clean and look majestic. All right, it's getting cold. Uncle Dave, Deece's Adventures. This is probably the only winter video you guys are gonna get this year. Sorry, but I'm just getting through life. It's the off-grid thing all by yourself is, yeah, it's hard. It's not the greatest. Sometimes it's boring, and sometimes it's you work a lot without making any money, so it gets depressing and disappointing sometimes. But you know, this year I'm going to go a lot harder on the animals too, and make it a little easier to produce all my food. So I usually only produce about 25% of it with all the vegetables, but if I add some broilers and some more eggs, chickens, and a bunch of more livestock, I can get up closer to like 90% pretty easily. All right, that's it. UPS guy's pulling in.